Do you have something you want to tell them? Yeah, sugar's bad, huh? What's good? What's good? Breast milk. Yay! What is up, guys? So, it is the video you've been waiting for. I have my ketone strips, my blood sugar strips, and my lumen. So we're going to test it all right now. I'm super excited about this. You have no idea. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're going to test our blood ketones and our blood sugar. Why? There's a mosquito right here. Ready? Ready? Mr. Miyagi, let's go. Let's go. Alright, so we're going to test blood sugar and blood ketones. And we're going to see where they're at, and then we're going to compare that to my breath. So we're gonna load up both these things right now. Alright. Fasted blood glucose 87. Beautiful. Ketones, 0.2. 0.2. But apparently, I'm burning mostly fat. You see? You see what I'm talking about? Dude. Based off my carbon dioxide levels, I'm in like the 80% fat. So why are my ketones so low? Because nutritional ketosis does not always reflect fat metabolism. I had an incident yesterday. I was running around. I was really stressed out because we were doing this youth ministry thing. My ketones were 0.5, but my blood sugar was 97. And it had me at a level 3 to 4 on there, which is burning fat and carbs, or burning mostly carbs. It's like 40%, 50% fat metabolism. The rest of it's carbohydrates. Why? I ate less than 30 grams of carbs yesterday because my blood sugar was high due to stress and stuff. And so my point is that, I was in nutritional ketosis. Ketones don't always reflect fat metabolism. Blood sugar, my blood sugar is lower. My fat metabolism is higher. I would say blood sugar is a much greater indicator than nutritional ketosis, to be honest. So I love this thing because it's proving my theories. It's proving my theories. Prove my theories, Lumen. Prove my theories. Alright, homies, just got done with the gym, so this is officially going to be a day of eating. I'm just going to take y'all through a day of eating. Workouts, we're going to check my blood glucose and my ketones and my breath meter the whole time. We're going to compare. We're going to discuss. It is going to be a fun day full of blood, lots of stabbing, and information. So stay tuned. I know I sound super enthusiastic, but it's because I'm trying to hurry and get these. Oh, wrong way. Ketone. There we go. 88.3. Not bad. Just got done with working out, which tends to be very glycolytic in nature, meaning it uses a lot of glycogen to do. So, hold on. Okay, so this is interesting. So, it says I'm at a 5. Apparently I was burning through a lot of glycogen during that workout. It says once it's done burning through that glycogen, which is odd because the blood sugar is higher. I'm actually going to do a retest real quick. So we're showing a 0.2, which means I'm burning mostly fat. We're going to check one more time. It's got me at 1. Alright, we're going to check one more time because this seems to be going all different kinds of directions. So the question is it being inconsistent? Is it changing because as I'm breathing more, I'm getting more and more relaxed? Alright, it's got me at a 1 again. So I'm at a 1. So then, okay, so that's the most consistent reading we've had. So then now the question is though, was that happening because there's inconsistencies in the device, or was my body finally getting out of that glycolytic demanding work and it was getting into more of my fat burning and fat metabolic state because I was done outputting glycogen? If that makes sense, stay with me here. So I'm gonna reach out to them though, because I do have a lot of questions, but I find this fascinating. You might find this confusing and thinking it's inconsistent. I don't know if it is being inconsistent right now. It hasn't been inconsistent this whole time. So what is it trying to tell me? It would make sense that after a heavy demanding lift, I would be burning more glycogen, even if blood sugar numbers are stable, because my cells are going to be uptaking the glucose. It could have been higher 10 minutes ago, but my cells are creating a byproduct of carbon dioxide, which is showing higher because I'm using more glucose because of the glycolytic glucose demanding lifting. As I've been taking these breaths these past 5-10 minutes, I've gotten in more and more of a relaxed state, which leads me to believe that my body is tapping more into fat, which is showing different byproducts in my breath as time goes on, which is why we saw it do a 5, a 2, a 1, a 1. So, those are my thoughts. That is fascinating and interesting. And also I could see that throwing some people off, like seeing that 5 and going, what the hell am I doing wrong? But I think understanding your body's metabolism in certain moments is really important and can be really beneficial. So, I find it fascinating. Anyways, about to eat. We're gonna do brisket and cauliflower rice. About to smash this. I'll check my breath and my strips again an hour after I eat and see what they look like. See y'all then. What's up, guys? Camera's tilted for some displacement. We're about to check everything again because it's an hour post meal. So we're gonna do this real quick. All right, ketones and blood sugar. So ketones are 0.3. Blood sugar 71. Outstanding. Alright, homies, so it's got me at a 3. I checked it a couple times. I got a weird 5 there, but I checked it. I'm going to message them and talk about like kind of some of the ranges and see what their answers are. I'm sure there's some things there that aren't perfect about the device, so I'm just gonna check that out so that you don't have to. I'm gonna get an answer from them. But yeah, so after eating, remember 3 is anywhere from 42 to 60% fat, so I could be at a 60% fat range. So yeah, that's where we're at. Those are the numbers. I'm going to inquire on some things via the Lumen company. I have a lot of questions, a lot of thoughts. This is really exciting for me. I also, earlier with going from workout to more of a relaxed state before I ate, I kind of am curious, like the exciting thing of maybe I just watched my metabolism kind of shift over the course of 10 minutes to more of a fat burning state because I was done with such a glycally demanding workout. So the fact that I could actually see that process happen is kind of an exciting thought. So just thoughts as we're going through this. So I will see y'all in a bit. All right, guys, just got done mowing the lawn because, you know, husband stuff. Not saying my wife can't mow the lawn, I'm just saying she makes me do it. But she made me Mexican cauliflower rice with sour cream. So we're gonna slam that for meal number 2. What is up, guys? So we just got back from church. We had a delicious lunch of tomato bunned lunch meat. We took lunch meat and cheese and put it in a tomato bun. And we had keto ice cream floats. It was just delicious. A lot of my church is keto, so it kind of gives me those freedoms. So we're here and we checked our ketones, and our ketones were 0.2. Our blood sugar was 86. Let's see if you can see that. There we go. And then we got a level 2 on our lumen. So again, everything makes sense, but I think we also have to look at this from another perspective. 0.2, I could have been like, oh, I did something wrong, but my lumen's saying I'm burning over 65 to 82% fat as fuel. Primary fuel source. I am fat metabolizing like crazy right now, and I haven't done a lot of activity, so I'm not in a caloric deficit at the moment. I'm not like super low in calories, so I just think there's more to it, right? And I did email Lumen. I have to email them because their social media manager is not their tech officer, which makes sense. So I emailed them with some of the possible inconsistencies, or just to clarify what's happening for you guys. So when I get those answers back, I'll let you know as soon as I do. Alright, what is up, guys? Good morning. So I'm interested to get tested today. I did something interesting yesterday. It was Memorial Day, so I had a little bit more low carb fruit than I normally do. Ended up around 60 grams of carbs for the day, which, you know what, during Memorial Day, it's totally fine. But I also ran 7 miles yesterday, so I'm interested to see what my numbers are. So my blood sugar is 92, a little bit higher than normal. Ketones are 0.3, which is actually, if y'all know my numbers by now, which you should, that's actually higher, which isn't a bad thing. I'll be interested to see, though, what the lumen says. So let's find out real quick. And we're at a level 3. There we go. Now we know. So reasons why you could be burning a higher carbs right now. It also gives you like a list, which I think is interesting. So let's talk about this list. Eating a lot of protein. That's one thing yesterday. I had a lot more protein than fat. Still burning previous day's carbs. I highly doubt that. 4 times 6, 240 calories. I ate 2,700. I burned over 3,500 calories yesterday because, again, I had a 6-mile tempo. So I highly doubt that. Just woke up. Possibly. I could check it in 30 minutes. Poor sleep. I woke up a little bit. Feeling stressed. Fasting for too long. Your body can raise blood sugar if you fast for too long. That's a true thing. That's not what's going on, though. Feeling unwell. Sickness. Late night eating. So it could have been a lot of protein. Maybe I didn't have enough fat yesterday. I highly doubt it was the 60 grams of carbs. It could have been. Possibly. Just another interesting point to look at. But yeah, so there we go. And again, remember, I could be at like 63% fat usage and I'm just like 1% away from being a level 2. You don't really know. But yeah, so interesting. That's just a way to kind of like track how food's affecting you, though. But the thing is and understand too that like food isn't the only factor. Like if you test and you've had terrible sleep, and this is with ketones and blood sugar too. If you've tested and you had more protein, it might not, like, I think a lot of people, I think that's one of the things here, is that a lot of people associate like an extra 5 grams of carbs with elevated blood sugar, but they don't look at their protein. They don't look at how bad their sleep was. They don't look at if they're sore from them training the day before. Like all of that constitutes your blood sugar, your fasted glucose being up. Like if you're at 20 grams total carbs and you have fasted blood glucose, like everybody's first knee-jerk reaction in the keto space is to lower carbohydrates. Let's go down to 10, let's go down to 5, let's go down to 0. But it's like, is that really the problem? Is 20 grams of carbs from 24 hours ago really your problem for fasted glucose right now? Is it really? Is it really? I don't think it is. I really don't think it is. Even like 40 grams of carbs, I highly doubt it. So just looking at other factors matters. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm not saying that like if you lowered your carbs by 20 grams or by 10 grams, it wouldn't affect your fasted glucose. It might. But I'm saying like a lot of people, like they become hyper-focused on that and then they lower it and nothing happens. And they get really frustrated because they don't think about all the other factors that go into a elevated fasted glucose, like stress, like sleep, like protein, and not even necessarily high protein, but higher protein and low fat. Like fat to protein ratio matters because your fat helps prolong the digestion of the protein, which keeps it from breaking down into sugar. You also, well, that's not exactly how that works. That was way oversimplified. But yeah, so just like, but that ratio matters in terms of fasted blood glucose. Like that can impact things. So lots of things to consider with these tests, which is why no test is perfect. But these numbers so far are interesting. I emailed Lumen, the support team. I'm supposed to be getting an email back. They emailed me back and said they're going to look into it. So as soon as I have that answer, I will let y'all know and then give y'all my final thoughts on this whole shebang. All right, guys. So we're doing another test. I am going to leave my carb count the exact same today. So 60 grams yesterday, we're going to do 60 again today because I can test things like that. And we're going to raise the fat and lower the protein. We're going to see what happens. So I am just testing after my workout. I'm still technically fasted other than the half I had on my coffee earlier. So we're going to test these, see where they're at post run and lift. We've got 85 on the blood glucose. We've got, let's see what's on the ketones. Let's go. We're at a 1. Let's see where this goes today. Let's see where it goes. I'm dying. This video has so many little clips of me in my kitchen. Dinner, salmon, butter, green beans. Keto's not boring. You're boring. Alright, what is going on, guys? Alright, it is the next morning after raising the fats up and lowering the protein a bit, but keeping carbs exactly the same, 60 grams. I had a lot of strawberries yesterday, and it was great. But check this out. Ketones, 0.3, same. Blood sugar 88. I think it was 87 yesterday. I don't remember. But check this out. 1. So I was right. It was the protein. There's no way it makes that big of a difference on fat metabolism. Maybe your ketone numbers, but not your overall fat metabolism. There's no way. Which is why I think it's important to this, because maybe you want some fruit, or maybe you want to do a whole foods ketogenic diet approach, but you're afraid because it's actual natural sugars and it's not sugar alcohols. So then you won't eat it. And then you'll eat the sugar alcohols, which are more addicting in my opinion anyways. But then you can check things like this, and yeah, your ketones might stay the same. Might stay the same, but like let's say they go down 2 points. But if you check this in the morning and you're at 1, you're burning fat like a machine. Stick with the fruit rather than the keto treats all the time. I'm not saying you can't have keto treats. I have keto treats. I have sugar alcohols. I put stevia in my coffee. But what I'm saying though is like, I'm more for opting for the natural whole food sources of carbohydrates if you're going to eat them. And I just think stuff like this is so important. Like this device is sick. Also, I have to read you something. Hold on. All right, so I was on a Facebook chat for Lumen. There's a group that you can join after you get the device, and I'm gonna read a couple things. So I'll put it on the screen right here. So this post, he says, "Hi guys, I have a question about water. Hydrate water. So I've been using my Lumen since Christmas. No matter what I try, I wake up in a carb burning mode 3, 4, 5. 5 days ago, I decided to increase my daily water intake from practically coffee only to 2 to 2.5 liters of water, and now I'm in a fat burning mode." So next photo. Someone said, Maria Fox, she even had a link on there, but it said water is key to the body being able to more efficiently burn fat, so it might not be a fluke. I have it included in a document I've done. My hydration levels have gone from 45 to 51.3 over 7 months. A small piece in my weight loss jigsaw, but a piece nonetheless. Guys, that is a direct correlation between water and fat burning. Make sure you're hydrated. There's also another post that I found, and I'm still waiting for an email back from the service, but Lumen, someone else asked a question about ketones and ketone readings versus fat burning readings, and Lumen posted an article that they did on their website, and I'm going to put that here. So Lumen will tell you whether your body is using carbs or fat as a source of energy by measuring the concentration of carbon dioxide, CO2, in your breath, while ketone levels will tell you if your body is in ketosis. In ketosis, your body synthesizes ketone bodies from fatty acids in order to supply the brain with energy. Reaching ketosis requires an extended period of fasting or extended deprivation from consuming carbs. So on a keto diet, the question is, are you pursuing ketones or are you pursuing fatty metabolism? Because you can metabolize fat very heavily without having a strong amount of ketones in your blood. And I'd also reckon to say that when you're fat adapted, unless you're in a very deep ketogenic state from a caloric deficit and very little carb, or fasting, you're not going to have a super high amount of ketones anyways. But this is interesting. It is important to note that utilizing fatty acids for fuel is not the same as utilizing ketone bodies for fuel on a biochemical level. Burning ketones for fuel produces more byproduct of carbon dioxide than burning fatty acids for fuel. Therefore, your lumen levels may not clearly indicate a state of fat burn during ketosis. So that's why the other day when my ketones were higher, I showed more of a 3 instead of a 2 or a 1. It's not because I was burning more carbs. It's because there's more of a byproduct of carbon dioxide the higher your ketones are. So that's one way in which this may not be the best. Because when we look at this, if you are super high in your ketone levels, this might register not as much fat burning because the carbon dioxide levels are so high. But to be honest, I don't want my carbon dioxide levels to be high. I want there to be very clean energy, which is fat metabolism. So I actually don't mind my ketones being lower. Like a 0.3 to 0.5 is chill with me. I'm totally cool with that. I don't need to be in nutritional ketosis all the time. I want to be a fat metabolizer. I want to be, the whole point of a ketogenic diet is to metabolize fats for fuel as your primary fuel source. All right, what is up, homies? So it is the next morning and blood sugar, 91, ketones, 0.5, which is crazy. The past 3 days, I've had like 60 grams of total carbs every day. Eating a bunch of strawberries, loving life. Fats are still around 70% fat. I'm doing like 68 to 70% fat, 5 to 6% carbohydrates, and protein. So that's nice. And then I'm at a level 2. So burning anywhere from 60 to 80% fat as fuel. So what can I say? And they emailed me back. So let me read y'all this email real quick and then we'll talk about it. So, all right, so here's what they said, and I'll put it up on the screen. I just wanted to get back to you with regards to your results. I've investigated thoroughly with the science team and your lumen is working well. Please do ensure that you are seated in a completely rested position when you take your measurements. Super important. You want to be rested. You don't want to take it right after a workout. You want to make sure that you give yourself 20 to 30 minutes to relax, which does suck. You can't really test things that are going on right then because of how hard you're breathing. Carbon dioxide levels are all over the place, which they're going to get to here in a second. So if you take a second measurement right after the first, you rid your lungs of most carbon dioxide, which will make you seem like you're burning more fat. So like if you get a reading that you don't like, own it. Look at your day before, make sure that you were hydrated like we talked about earlier. If you weren't hydrated, then hydrate. And if you get the same response the next morning, maybe deal with your macronutrients. Maybe bring your carbs down, maybe bring your fat up, maybe bring your protein down. But play with it like that. But make sure you're hydrated first, you're rested and well seated. So they gave me my answer and I was happy with it. So then, what are my final thoughts? This has been 3 videos. This video right here has been very long and lots of work. What are my final thoughts? My final thoughts are that I am so glad I don't have to stab my finger anymore. I love the lumen, I really do. I am gonna have blood ketones and strips to test when I want, but I don't really care for it anymore. I have a device that lets me know if I'm metabolizing fat at a high rate. I feel good. My diet's on point. I'm sticking to a whole foods ketogenic diet, and my breath meter levels are reflecting it. And I will say it's interesting that ketones and blood sugar are not necessarily correlated with lumen levels, because blood sugar and blood ketones don't always show what's going on exactly in the cell, whereas the carbon dioxide byproduct gives us a much better indicator of fuel sources in the moment. And so there's not a direct correlation. So like, even though my ketones are higher, right? We've seen where my ketones are higher and my levels are less. We've seen my ketones lower and my levels are higher. We've also talked about carbon dioxide output of ketones being higher than fatty acids and all the nuances that go into this biologically. So my advice would be to get a lumen. Don't worry about stabbing yourself all the time. Don't chase ketones if you don't have to. If you want to chase ketones, you want to spend that $40 and just have a ketone meter, that's fine. But if you want to invest in something that you don't have to keep buying things for, and it's going to give you a better indicator, it's going to be a better indicator for you, of you being fat adapted as you get more and more into your ketogenic lifestyle, and you just want to see that you're metabolizing fat and fat is your primary fuel source. The lumen is your go-to. I hope you enjoyed the series. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to answer them. I know it's been a long series and I'm glad that you stuck with it to the end. I will see y'all in the next one.